Oh, 3 cents.
Not that. You were really fast. Attention. Power.
Too much power, too much power.
Slowly. Yeah, you're getting there. Now you can go out. Aha, now it works better.
Whenever he says work better, it gets jinxed. Like that. Oh my god. As soon as I apply brakes. Oh, okay. Oh.
Brake.
Yeah. I don't have quattro, but thankfully the cars do. Quattro is the term which Audi uses for its four-wheel drive system, which is Italian for four. I'm here right now in Seefeld in Austria, where the temperature is minus 10 degrees, and you can call this the home of the quattro because Audi's first quattro, which is the Audi quattro or the quattro, I don't know how to pronounce that, was unveiled around this area back in the 1980s, and it won multiple championships for the level of traction it used to offer, which is to make the car faster. Today I'm going to be experiencing two cars. This one right here, the RS5 and the RS e-Tron GT. Both of these cars obviously have quattro four-wheel drive system, and this is a paddock where cows graze in the summer. But what Audi has done is taken a series of hydrants, put it all across to cultivate ice, which is between 5 to 7.5 mm thick, to create this beautiful Audi drive experience in ice, or rather the Audi ice experience. So I'm going to be experiencing all these cars, going to have a lot of fun in the next couple of days. Straight away, let's start driving. But before that, let me tell you a bit about this beauty. So first up, with this 1.3 crore Audi RS5, it's a fantastic car, but I don't know how it's going to fare in such a surface. It's going to be very scary. But quattro system, obviously all-wheel drive system from Audi, is well known. And then we have an 8-speed transmission here, which is not a dual clutch. It's actually a torque converter, but it shifts like really fast. Let's get in. All right, let's start the car. And there it rose to life. We get into drive mode straight away, and I'm going to get the drive select. Okay, don't disturb me there. We get the drive select into dynamic. Traction control sport. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, and off we go. Oh, too much throttle. Car is spinning right away.
Yes, good braking, smooth steering. That looked quite good.
Oh my god, thank you so much. So that was my first attempt at doing this. And the whole idea is you accelerate hard, then you brake and switch lanes just to show the traction of quattro system. And obviously because ESP is on sport right now, you can do things like this, okay? Yeah.
The steering was perfect. The flow is down to the cones. If you look down at the cones, then you hit them. Always keep.
That's the best thing about group activity. While the group is doing all this, you can do all this as well. So thing is, this is powered by 2.9 liter V6 engine, which is actually co-developed with Porsche. This produces 450 horsepower and 600 Newton meters of torque. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour claimed 3.9 seconds. But this car will actually go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour faster in around 3.6, 3.7 seconds. That's how quick this is, with a top speed which is limited to 250 kilometers per hour. This is about aggressive braking, emergency braking, and then swerving so that you don't hit someone ahead. So they are the codes. Okay. Now what you need to do is you need to be very hard on the brakes and then simultaneously steer the car. And if you do it very aggressively, the car will start drifting and lose its line. The car obviously has winter tires with studs on them. This time I'm going to try to brake with my left foot, okay, which will be more aggressive. Because of ABS, you can be 100% on the brakes. So left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator. I don't think traction control will turn on. Here, sport mode for the gearbox. Okay, here we go. I can't get hard on the throttle, but now I can. And almost left. My goodness, it actually feels like the car is completely losing.
Almost. You were close.
Okay, almost.
The moment you get the information, Ram is still in the direction you need to go. Huh?
I think that was
Fastest
quite good.
again,
Yeah.
go in that direction.
Left foot did not really help here because
Here we
I
go.
felt like I'm pressing a stone. It was so hard. The brakes were like really very hard. Absolutely crazy. And now it's time to take a nice turn. So we'll just wait for this Volkswagen van to disappear. So the van is out of our sights, which means time to have some fun. And here we go.
And the car there drifting in the back, be careful, yes? Easy with the drifting.
Unbelievable fun.
Next one.
It doesn't bother you here?
No, not at all. Very used to it. Well, it has been a fantastic experience with the RS5. Acceleration, braking, turning, and then drifting. The RS5 is fantastic. I always love this car because great performance, absolute insane amount of grip. The grip levels are such that, you know, on wet roads you feel it's dry or rather damp, and on damp roads you feel it's dry because that is the level of grip it offers, and obviously studded tires and all that. So fantastic experience. Now it's time for a quick coffee break, and then we jump into this car, the RS e-Tron GT. I drove both the cars in the morning, little bit feel of the track, and honestly I love the RS5 way more because obviously internal combustion engine is an internal combustion engine. No EV can beat that, even though this car has crazy numbers. We'll talk about that. And talking about crazy numbers, this is the most powerful Audi car you can buy right now. 640 horsepower, 50 horsepower on overboost, 590 horsepower is what it makes from its 93.4 kilowatt electric motor. Again, you can call it the Taycan version from Audi. Really very powerful, crazy car because it costs a lot of money. 2.05 crores, which is 25 lakhs more than the S version, the e-Tron GT. This being the RS version, obviously adds a lot more for 25 lakh rupees. Let's drive this. All right, it's time to drive the RS e-Tron GT. Although we are not going to be driving it full throttle like most of us would expect it to be, because obviously this car has crazy amount of power and torque. 830 Newton meters of torque. That's absolutely ballistic. But what you're going to be doing is the understeer test. How do you get, how do you, look. Yeah, so basically he's telling us how do you deal with understeer. Understeer, you know, happens if you're too fast and you steer too much. So I have to hit a speed of 30 kilometers per hour and steer, and then you see what I do. So first things first, traction control off. Here, ESP, I keep this pressed for around 4 seconds. Yeah, switched off completely. And now it's time to go. Too much throttle if I go, then obviously it is going to go bonkers. So we get into dynamic mode here, around 30 kilometers per hour. Steering. So slowly, when you open the steering wheel, you won't believe understeer reduces, because firstly you get off the throttle. That's most important. You need to get off the throttle, and then you need to slightly start reducing the steer, because when you do that, the car will actually start to go in the right direction. Usually we think that, you know, we should steer more. No, that doesn't help. You have to actually reduce it very slowly and calmly. So right now I've come in dynamic mode, which means 640 horsepower and 830 Newton meters of torque. This car weighs 2,400 kgs. It's a heavy car. You don't really feel the weight. It's 5 meters long, 2.9 meters in terms of wheelbase. So it's huge, and it weighs 2,400 kgs because obviously it's an electric car. So the batteries do weigh quite a lot. So I am going to be launching it. Now the important thing is that you need to look properly. You need to look to the inside of the corner. You always look in the direction where you want to go. And left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, and off we go. Okay, a little bit of, oh my god, we're already at 30. That's how fast it is. And there, and I turn, leave the throttle slowly. Yeah, oh my goodness, yeah, it works. I was like thinking that, okay, I should steer more. No, while leaving the steering wheel, the car is actually coming back in line. So that's something which really works. So understeer usually happens with front wheel drive cars, or cars with four-wheel drive also have that tendency when power is being delivered to the front axle, of course. And this does 50-50 distribution between the front and the rear axle. So now I feel like a star. Now I know that consciously you need to make that decision. Don't let your muscle memory fool you. Okay, this audio keeps turning on and I need to turn it off right now. Okay, because of the, here it is. And off we go.
What's the difference when I drive in a
34 kilometers per hour.
That's very fast. Use the brakes, unwind the wheel, unwind. Yeah, exactly.
See, I get it now. Because he's telling me to unwind. Otherwise, I'm like, more steer. So basically, what you need is an instructor all the time to tell you what to do while driving a car. Because when he was telling me to do it, I'm like, okay, even if I don't do it, I am going to go near him only. So I'm going to follow his instructions. It really works beautifully well, honestly. Now, of course, this car has got all the electronics you can imagine. It has got an e-Quattro system. It's got torque vectoring. It has also got a rear differential. So all that power is put down very well, and the grip levels are also fab. Winter tires plus studs on them. So obviously you can feel the difference, and off we go. Yeah, immediately I can feel, okay, I'm going to turn the steering completely. The understeer is happening. So slowly as I let go. And thank you so much for the applause. So we are doing things right now. Which means there should be a celebration now. Why not? No, there, understeer again. I need to unwind the steering. Funny thing is, I'm not even in sport mode right now. So what we are going to do is, we don't need it actually, but still, why not? Because we are in dynamic mode, and it is the same thing now. This car has a range of around 400 kilometers, something of that sort, and it will charge with an AC charger 9.5 hours. But with a 270 kilowatt DC fast charger, 22 minutes to go from 10 to 80%. So that's fast. It says 160 kilometers because obviously in colder conditions, things deplete faster in terms of battery power. Here we are, and steer completely. Understeer, slowly, unwind. Yes. Oh my god, that is so much fun, when especially the instructors like giving you that kya bolte hai, saying that you're doing the things very right. So I'm a little proud of myself, and I think it's time to jump into some other car probably. Maybe I should drift that RS5 here. Alright, let's turn on the car. Now this is a lane change thing which we're going to be doing. We get into dynamic. It says it needs to replace the key, battery. So what we are going to do is we are going to get into the Audi Drive Select, and we are going to put it into dynamic, of course. Traction control, I'll keep it on for the moment. Okay, very simple thing. We are going to accelerate. When we come near the cones, we are going to let go of the throttle and smoothly steer like a lane change. No braking, very calm situation. In case of driving out on a highway, immediately you see a truck comes from somewhere. This is what you need to know. All right, off we go. Traction control light blinking continuously. And as soon as I get to the cone, there we are, lifting off the throttle very smoothly. My goodness, that was super duper smooth.
Excellent.
See, excellent. As you reduce the steering effort, it turns. Thing is, pre-sense detected, Audi pre-sense. It really pulled us.
Did it with ESC and it worked for sure. You can turn it off.
Okay, now I can turn off ESC. I've got that go ahead from the instructor, which is nice. And oh my god, this seatbelt really pulled it. Okay, so some accolades been given on the radio. Now it's time to turn off traction control, the moment I've been waiting for, and there, switched off. So now it's going to be a bit tricky because the car will obviously lose balance, and then I have to counter steer. So now with ESP off, I have to be a little bit more alert, and off we go. Not full on the throttle because there's so much oh my god, the speed it's doing already is crazy. Smoothly steer. Yeah, even with ESP off, it's managing quite well. Oh, I got the perfect there. I get another throttle now.
Attention.
It has so much torque, it absolutely spins like mad. Crazy amount of torque with the traction control off. Obviously, there's nothing which is stopping this car from going all over the place. The instructor is like, attention. After I'd already gone sideways, there was nothing I could do. Just wait for things to stabilize. That is a problem with electric cars. There's so much instant torque now that you get hard on the throttle and then you realize, oh my god, I regret that decision because the car has just left everything. So next time you're going to be a little bit smoother on the throttle, a little bit of modulating the throttle for going in a continuous drift. With the RS5, kind of perfected it. With this RS e-Tron GT, my god, 830 Newton meters of torque, can move mountains.
When you pass the obstacle, keep the car straight.
And off we go. This time let's be a little faster.
Left.
Stabilized. Very fast. Celebration.
Attention.
अरे बहुत जगह खाली पूरा. Electric car is a very big problem with drifts because on, off, and so much torque and then out of balance. Alright, the most interesting session. Let's turn on the car. There it rose to life. First things first, we are going to get it into dynamic mode. Okay, I'm just going to agree. I don't understand what it's saying in German. Okay, fine. Here we are. And we are in dynamic mode. Traction control, I am going to turn off. So let this car go, then we'll get there. Meanwhile, I'm actually going to get into settings. Okay, here into the cluster mode. Audi virtual cockpit. There's a new RS runway. RS runway has come, which is so cool and so different as well. So I'm not going to say anything. Let the instructor talk. And off we go. I'm going to keep it in first itself. All over the place now because the camera was shooting outside, so I thought we'll get some dynamic shots.
So slow in, remember, slow in, steer it a lot, and then aggressive on the throttle. Steer it, then power. Yes, and now a little bit of power, just a little bit. Keep it. That's perfect.
Yeah, oh my god, finally we got it. Yes, so basically I was not turning enough. Okay, so this time you're going to do it like a pro, which means, okay, there it's shifted to second already here, and now onto the throttle. Cake freaking walk and then stabilizes very nicely. Once you get the hang of it now, man, drifting is one of the best things you can do. And obviously in icy conditions you don't ruin the tires as fast as you do on tarmac, because there obviously rubber is going to come off. So ESP is on right now. Okay, but still the car is sliding a bit because obviously traction is not there. But whatever we have learned today, everything we have to put into perspective right now, which means that the steering has to be smooth, the throttle transition has to be smooth, don't get too hard onto the throttle. I can see the traction control light blinking here. When you apply brakes now, the problem here is that with ABS on, of course, you are not able to go very hard onto the brakes, because when I do that now, unfortunately, the brake pedal becomes very hard. It becomes so hard that braking distance is also increased dramatically, and that is a bit of an issue. But never mind, and we have to actually come and stop in these cones right now, and there we have, oh god, I underestimated. So whatever we have learned today, we have to put it into perspective, which means when you're turning now, you should lift off the throttle. This way the weight transfer happens brilliantly well, and then obviously the car will point where you want it to point, which means in between just get onto the throttle, pick up a little bit of pace, slowly, steadily and very progressive is the way to go. Here we are going to apply some brakes because we need that, and then we're going to turn. Now if I get real, okay, yeah, this is what we learned today, right? That remove the steering lock, that's the way to go, because the more you steer, the more it's going to understeer. Yes, it's very difficult right now because the sun has come down, it's melted ice, so now there's ice, there's a layer of water around, and the car is slipping even more. Now to stop in these cones, I should start applying brakes now. Yeah, there I've applied brakes, full brakes. There it stopped. I stopped a little earlier, I guess. And off we go. Responses are crazy now because of the electric motor. Now this car really responds like crazy. There's just so much torque which is coming out. It's absolutely insane. 830 Newton meters is mind-blowing, to be honest. But then there's no sound, there's no drama in this car. That's the only thing. Otherwise, it's super duper quick. It's super fast.
And remember, too much steering is the main reason for understeering.
Yes, I remember that while steering too much as well. Yeah, it goes sideways very fast on this car. So we have to actually reduce the steering input, because if you do too much steering, obviously it is going to understeer, because it's a quattro system, and quattro system has amazing grip, like next level grip. So we are just going to come to a halt here. Brakes are fab in this car, fab. Okay, time to get adventurous, which means we are going to turn off traction control, which means that there's going to be too much power, the most powerful Audi car, of course, too much torque as well. 640 horsepower and 830 Newton meters of torque. In this condition, it's not going to give you all that because it's too cold. And now it's time for the final lap of the day. So let's go a little fast. Actually, you know, you have to feel the surface and you can't feel anything. There's just no grip at all. Thanks to the winter tires, thanks to the quattro system, and obviously the studs on the tires, the car feels quite balanced. Although I can feel there is tendency for the car to let go and oversteer. That's the reason I'm not getting hard on the throttle if I do now. Okay, here we reduce the steering angle. Something great which I've learned today, less steering angle, that controls the understeer. Otherwise we have this tendency, oh, we should give more steering angle. That's not the way to do it. Just playing around. And I love the brakes on this car. Brakes are absolutely mind-blowing. Check this out. Okay, yeah, a little late on them. The ABS pulsates so much now you're not able to brake only. See, it's showing 168 kilometers per hour. Can you believe that? The speedo sensor is in an entirely different league, because on ice it's not able to detect only just like throttling, it's wheel spinning, it's not moving, it's like 10, 20, 30 kilometers per hour, but it says 168 kilometers per hour here. Insane. Okay, we have to get ahead from here because that is the RS5 line. We are in the electric line today, which means zero emissions. And that's it for the day. See you tomorrow. And here we go.
Steering. You need to make your turn shorter, so it's steering a little bit more. Keep the power, keep it big, steering, in, yes. Keep the turn short, keep the car moving. Keep it, turn in, yes. And slowly out. Not bad, not bad.
Kabhi good bhi bol diya kar bhai. Okay, now I'm at a slalom. However, we have to actually drift the car into each of the slaloms so that it's easier, tighter turning radius. I have to be very precise with the throttle because obviously there's so much power now. Yeah, it goes like this. It's easy actually because this car has good amount of weight balance. Okay, understeer kicking in. So what you do is you go straight first, you turn, then throttle. As soon as you throttle, you unwind. It just goes so easily. That's the best thing about this car. Like there, throttle. It's dancing on ice right now. This is so much fun. Check this A8L security, fully armored, and a lot of other A8s here driving along because people are getting trained in these A8s as well. That's kind of maddening, na? Okay, fantastic. e-Tron also, the RS e-Tron or the e-Tron GT. Crazy amount. Look at this, okay? I know very few places in India have this kind of situations and terrains, but if the need arises, these Audi cars will not disappoint you. Just make sure you get winter tires, get studs on them, and obviously get some driving skills from the Audi Drive Experience, because this drive experience teaches us a lot, which I'll sum up in the verdict. I'm just getting too cold. Let's go. And it is a wrap. Amazing 2 days driving here on ice with Audi cars. It has been a lot of fun, but I've made a lot of mistakes. I've been scolded on a lot as well for doing wrong things, and that's something which you need to realize in life. You need to keep continuously learn and evolve and experience better things. And this was an amazing experience for me, because now after driving here, I realized that driving on snow is very different. Driving on ice rather is very different. You need to be very patient with the throttle, not manhandling the car, because most of us tend to think that more power is the solution. Sorry, Jeremy Clarkson. And on that bombshell, it's time to end. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this vlog, make sure to give the thumbs up, that's a like button, and also subscribe to the channel. They also gave us certificates for participation. I'm like graduated now in ice driving. Now the thing is, I'm not wearing gloves. I should be wearing gloves right now, but I also have to shoot content, and with gloves obviously I cannot operate my camera.